Привет, guys. In today's video, we're gonna talk about vowels. I want to give you a kind of a full picture of what the Russian vowels are all about. And before we get started, I want to make sure you understand what the vowels are and what the difference is between vowels and consonants. So, in case you don't know it, vowels are sounds that, when you pronounce them, the air flows freely out of your mouth without much friction, without much obstruction, and they make syllables, okay, in words. Whereas consonants are sounds that don't really, they don't make syllables, and there's a lot of obstruction in your mouth when you pronounce them. If it sounds a little confusing, don't worry. In a few seconds, hopefully you'll have a clearer picture. But the first thing that I'll ask you to do is look at the alphabet and try to find 10 vowels. In Russian, there are 10 vowels. Try to find all 10 in the alphabet, and you can pause the video, but I'll go ahead and read the alphabet for you. So you can review it with me as well, and then maybe just try to listen to the sounds that come out of my mouth freely, without much friction, without much obstruction, and that I can kind of drag or extend. I don't know what to call it, as opposed to consonants that I can't really drag very much. There's a lot of friction or obstruction, okay, when I pronounce them. So, okay. A, B, V, G, D, Е, Ё, Ж, Z, И, Й, К, Л, М, Н, О, П, Р, С, Т, У, Ф, Х, Ц, Ч, Ш, Щ, hard sign, Ы, soft sign, You, Ya. Okay, I hope you guys heard the 10 vowels. I tried to be very obvious, but anyway, let me tell you what they are. So they are A, Е, Ё, И, О, У, И, and You, Ya. So these are the 10 vowels of the Russian language. Sometimes Y raises some questions from students or even teachers. Some people will tell you that Y is kind of in between. But to me, Y is not a vowel. Y is a consonant. It does not form a syllable, and there is quite a bit of obstruction when you pronounce it. Y. So it does not really sound like a vowel. So it's not a vowel. Okay, so once again, here are the vowels: A, Е, Ё, И, О, U, И, You, and Ya. All right. Now, here's what I'll ask you to do now. Imagine that you need to pair them up. There's 10 of them, right? So you need to have 5 pairs, and you need to pair them up by rhyming, kind of. Like imagine you're writing a poem and you need to pair them for the pairs to rhyme, okay? For the letters in each pair to rhyme with each other, okay? So, ah. Which one do you think ah rhymes with? Well, ah rhymes with yeah, right? I hope you can hear it, right? Ah, yeah, right? Okay. How about yeah? Which one does yeah rhyme with? Okay, so yeah rhymes with air. You know what? Let me better yet mark them. Well, just for fun. So yeah, different colors for you guys to make it a little more fun and cheerful. Yeah rhymes with air. I hope you can hear it. All right, so air, yeah. All right. How about your? Which one does your rhyme with? Well, your obviously rhymes with or, right? So your rhymes with or. Okay. So, or and your, they're gonna be yellow. All right. Okay, how about E? Well, you know what? Before we do E, let's do oo. It's a little more straightforward. So, which one does oo rhyme with? Well, oo rhymes with you. Okay. Again, it's pretty apparent to me. I hope it is for you guys as well. So here we go. And well, lastly, we can leave them this original color. E rhymes with ui. And well, let me tell you, they don't really make up a perfect pair, but well, for lack of better alternatives, yeah, we're gonna pair them up. Okay, so ya, yeah, o, yo, u, you, and e. Okay, so why are we doing this? Well, first of all, it's for a reason that I actually wrote them exactly like this, in this order. Well, meaning that these ones I wrote on the left, and then these ones I wrote on the right. So, in fact, the ones on the right, with the exception of the last pair, so don't look at the last pair, it's not really a perfect pair. We'll talk about it too, but these four pairs, they're kind of perfect because in each pair we have one regular vowel, and on the right we have diphthongs. Do you guys remember what diphthongs are, right? These consist of two sounds, right? So, and we kind of did it in the previous videos, I think, but if I asked you, how else could you spell ya in Russian using two other letters? So imagine you need to spell letter ya, which is a diphthong, right? Because of the y sound, y and a. So how else can you spell ya in Russian using two letters? Well, you can spell it using this letter, right? You can spell ya like this, right? So again, a is a regular vowel, ya is a diphthong, but you can actually spell ya using y and a, right? And that makes total sense because it essentially is two sounds, right? So ya is exactly the same. I mean, they're equivalent. Okay, and again, if you ask me why do we even have ya as a letter if we can spell it as two letters that we already have otherwise, again, I don't really know. Would have to do some research on that, but the reality is that yes, we do have those diphthongs, and they all can be spelled using two other letters. So using the y letter and its partner, which is not a diphthong, right? For example, yeah, right? Letter yeah can be spelled as y, right? And again, they're exactly the same. Yeah, yeah, right? Okay, your can be spelled as your, right? And then you can be spelled as you. Okay, so why am I telling you this? Well, first of all, because hopefully you're going to understand this letter a little better. It's a very tricky letter, yeah, right? And I want you to understand that it's not a vowel, and it does not have a vowel sound to it unless it's followed by a vowel, okay? So by itself, this letter is just yeah, 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 right? But when you add a vowel after it, then it sounds pretty much exactly like one of the diphthongs, depending on what vowel you add, right? So, ya, or yeah, or your, or you, right? That's one reason. The other reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to understand what the diphthongs are all about, right? That each diphthong actually consists of two sounds, and you can even spell them as two sounds. Okay. Well, I'm repeating myself. I hope you got it. Very important that you understand this. If you guys understand this, you're good. You're good to go. You understand the vowels in Russian. Now, let me tell you that you will most likely never see the diphthong spelled out as two letters in Russian. And that makes perfect sense, because why would you spell ya as two letters if you can just spell it as one letter, right? So you pretty much will never see these combinations in Russian in the actual official spelling, okay? Very rarely you will see some diphthongs spelled as actually two letters, but that only happens for some foreign borrowings from other languages that we borrowed into Russian, and we kind of tried to honor the original spelling, okay? So most typically you'll hear it with your. I mean, you'll see it with your. For example, if you take the word yoga, okay? So a yoga originally, and I don't know what language we took it from. Maybe we took it from English, supposedly. I don't know. But, well, imagine we borrowed it into Russian from English. So in Russian, the word yoga is the same, yoga, okay? And when we were borrowing it, we just tried to honor the original spelling. So this is called transliteration, right? So we took the Y, we took the O, we took the G, and we took the A, and we replaced them all with separate sounds. So instead of spelling it as yoga, which we could have totally done, I guess, we spelled it as four letters, right? Yoga, just like in the original English spelling. And again, if you spell it as yoga, it's going to sound exactly the same, but you see, actually, the whatever autocorrect is recognizing that it's not a word, so it's underlining it as a bad word. or bad spelling. So because it's not a real word. Okay. Another example is yogurt, right? Yogurt. Again, we borrowed it from probably English again, and instead of spelling it as yogurt, which again we could have totally done, would have saved us a letter, but we decided to honor the original spelling because it's not an authentically Russian word. So we spelled yo as yo. Okay, so in those words, there's probably just a handful of them. You will see occasionally yo, for example, spelled as 2 letters, but in most other 99.9% of the Russian words containing the sound yo or yeah or ya, you won't see them spelled as 2 letters. Okay, so for example, to give you an example of an authentic Russian word, which is yozh, which means hedgehog. All right. Yes, yozh is definitely spelled as just yozh. Yeah, we're not spelling yo as 2 letters. Okay. Also, since we're talking about yo, let me digress here for a second and tell you an interesting fact about yo. So I don't want to confuse you, but I mean, it's not really me confusing you, it's just the fact that Russians decided to stop. At some point, we decided to stop putting the dots over the yo. It's really weird, but these days we just don't spell the dots over the yo. It's kind of a fun fact for you guys to know about the letter yo. So don't be surprised if you see a word spelled with just yeah, but everybody will be pronouncing, well, Russians will be pronouncing it as yo. That's just because for some reason we stopped putting the dots over the yo. A perfect example of this is my name, which in Russian is Pyotr. So actually it's supposed to have the yo, the dots, right? But even in my passport in Russian, it's spelled as Petr. And the funny thing is that all native Russian speakers know when it's a yeah, when it's a yo. So to us, it doesn't really matter. If you don't put the dots, I'm still gonna know. Like if you write the word yezh without the dots, I'll automatically pronounce it correctly because I know it's yozh. I know yezh is not a word, so my brain will make that connection and I will pronounce it correctly. But for you guys, yeah, it can be a bit of a challenge. And don't worry, in all my lessons, I always put the dots, obviously, in all the materials that usually are designed for learners of Russian. They do put the dots, but it's just kind of a fun fact about the yo is that we don't really put the dots over it anymore. So yes, it looks exactly like yeah, and there's no way you can tell as Russian learners. There's no way you can tell unless you actually know that it's a word with a yo, like my name. If you see my name in Russian, you know it's pronounced Pyotr, not Petr. Okay. Anyway, as far as the last pair goes, it's kind of a forced relationship because they're not a perfect pair. Neither of them is a diphthong, right? But funnily enough, they kind of rhyme a little bit, right? If you listen to it, I, I mean, they kind of rhyme, and not much to tell you about them. Neither of them is a diphthong, but they are vowels of the Russian alphabet, and we can kind of put them in a pair. But there's actually a reason why I put I under in the left column and why I put E in the right column. I'll tell you about it later in one of my future videos. Cliffhanger. But yeah, this is it, guys, with a vowel overview. So I hope you have a better understanding of the Russian vowels right now. And I'll see you guys in our next video. Until then, пока-пока.